Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is ZalotAngel and welcome back to yet again another speed drawing video. Slightly shorter this one, and I know what you're probably thinking, what's with all the speed drawing videos? Why am I doing so many as of late? Mostly because, and I want to get this out of the way and discuss this right now before we get into anything else, is starting on, I think Monday, starting on last Monday, I recently started taking up commissions as a sort of, I don't know, something I kind of want to do. You know, I thought to myself, like, I want to start doing something, like something more with my artwork rather than just drawing the random stuff that I come up with. So I thought about commissions are a good way to go. So I gave that an idea, and I was thinking about it, and I decided to go ahead and do it. And if you're wondering about the commissions, you're probably thinking, how much do I charge for these? I don't charge anything. I just want to point that out right now. I do not charge a single thing for my commissions. My commissions are free of charge. As of right now, they are subject to change in the future. I will put about 2 links in the description leading to the FAQ. No, I'll put about 3 links. I'll put one that leads to the FAQ that I made, the terms and conditions I made, and the actual commission thing form that I spent a long time drawing up, a long time like thinking about how to do that, which you can go read for yourself because I'll just be repeating what I've already written there. But yeah, I've started doing commissions as kind of a time thing. If you're wondering why there's a distinct lack of videos, then that's your reason. I've been working on commissions because usually commissions I set as my top priority now, because obviously I want to get these done for the people who have given me a chance, given me a chance to do a piece of artwork for them. They trusted me to do that, so of course I'm going to go ahead and do that first. But that's just something I decided during the weekend because I was thinking, like, what more could I do with my artwork and speedrunning videos, and I just came up with that. It's a good idea. I mean, I've already got, I've already finished this one, and I've got another one to start immediately afterwards. And I want to throw out there, if you're interested, again, there will be a link to the form and all that you can go and have a look at if you're interested. But yeah, I mean, it's quite fun to do. A bit of nerve-wracking because I'm a bit of a perfectionist with my artwork and with my own artwork as well. But when I'm doing artwork for other people, it's like I can't help but nitpick and just be like, oh, I gotta get this fucking right. It's gotta be right. It's gotta be perfect for the person who I'm doing it for. And the one you're seeing today, started this Monday, and I actually finished it early hours of this morning. It took me so long. This is first commission. I appreciate that, and shout out. Obviously, this is part of the whole agreement as well. Shout out to what was the name? FunkyGamer. Thank you, FunkyGamer, for commissioning me. I really appreciate that. And thank you for being my first commission. Thank you for being the first person to give me a chance at this. I really, really appreciate that. Of course, as I said, I would shout out fucking iPad, of course. I hate that one. It's like it waits. It waits for me to do a fucking video, then it decides to fuck me over and fuck up the audio. Jesus. But yeah, thank you, FunkyGamer. Sorry, I kind of mistyped your name in the email. My bad. But thank you so much for commissioning me and for being my first commission. You were my first, and I really appreciate that. I'm not going to get sentimental, don't worry. But yeah, I really do appreciate that, and thank you so much. And when you receive this, I hope it's to your liking, because I did put a decent amount of effort in this, and I did actually spend a very long time trying to figure out how to do this from the information that you provided. Trying to make a shy, easily embarrassed, and girly pose for her was... Trying to come up with a pose that kind of resembled her character was kind of difficult. And I think you'll see when this is finished that I would say I got the first two nailed, but the girly, maybe not so much, but you may notice as well, yes, there's going to be a lot of jump cuts and a lot of skipping again in this. It was one of those instances, again, like the one I did last week of Neptune, that I got so into it and I got like so distracted with trying to figure out how to do this one thing or do this or do that I completely forgot to hit the record button. There were times when I would just stop, look at the fucking videos that all the clips that I've recorded, and I'd just be like, hang on a minute, where's the new one? I was just like, fuck's sake, I haven't recorded, god damn it. That happened a lot during this as well. But I think it turned out really good. I even though this is going to be purely hard edge shading, I did add a bit of soft shading on some parts to kind of make it stand out that little bit more. I hope you don't mind, FunkyGamer. I hope you don't mind that I added just a small amount of soft edge shading on certain parts. But the entirety of it is completely hard edge shading and obviously full body as well. I will say that I like the design. I like what you did with it. I like the design of her. Like she was really fun to draw. Actually, very fun. Even though trying to get the pose just right was kind of difficult because I brainstormed for hours and hours and hours and doing rough sketches after sketches trying to think of a pose. And yet again, as you may notice, I completely skipped showing you the rough sketch because that's going to become a much more common thing within my speed drawing videos. Is the rough sketch can take me hours and hours and hours because it's usually just me brainstorming ideas and just sketching down ideas to try and figure out a pose. So I tend to just completely just cut that from the video and just get to the point where I actually need to show off. But yeah, like I really actually like this. This is actually quite fun to do, to be honest. Her design was interesting, very, very interesting. I'm hoping that the axe, when I drew the axe, I'm hoping that's of correct size, because I'm assuming that it's a big axe, of course, so I'm hoping that I got the size of the axe perfectly fine. Like, at least I hope so. But yeah, like I find this to be kind of fun. I mean, as I always say, like I enjoy doing artwork immensely, and it just came to me. It came to me as an idea of just like, well, I want to do commissions for people, but I was like, well, I can't really earn money from it because this isn't really a profession of mine. Like doing artwork isn't really like a profession or a job for me. It's a hobby for me. Like artwork is one of my hobbies, and I was just like, I can't charge people for this, you know. I can't charge people for something that I'm not doing as a job, you know. I prefer to consider this, as of right now, I consider my artwork to be a hobby of mine. And I was like, I don't really want to charge people for that when this is a hobby. Again, if you want to know the full information about that, you can just read the FAQ, which will be in the there'll be a link to that in the description with all the fucking information and shit, because otherwise I'm going to be here for ages explaining everything that's already been explained and written down. But yeah, I mean, it was quite fun. As I mentioned, you know, it was very fun, and I don't mind doing artwork for other people. You know, it allows me to kind of refine my technique a bit more and like try and do like new designs that people have made, and you know, the characters they've made, and try and do that. It allows me to kind of flex my technique a little bit there, you know, my art technique and all that, and just kind of do stuff for people, because obviously, like, I enjoy doing these sort of things for people, just out of the goodwill of my fucking heart, of course. But I just enjoy doing this sort of stuff. It's fun for me, and I know many people could question, like, why don't I just fucking charge for it? Like, go fucking charge for it. You could be making a fortune off of this. And it's like, I don't really want to charge for it right now, you know. As I just mentioned, you know, this is a hobby of mine. It's not a job, you know. This is not a job for me. It's a hobby. That's all it is to me. Like, artwork is a hobby that I thoroughly enjoy doing, and because of that, I don't feel the need to charge people for that. But what can you do, eh? I mean, it's a lot of fun to do, and I think doing these commissions, I'm probably going to be doing them for a while. If you notice there's a distinct lack of uploads, then that's kind of why. If you notice it's been a while since I've done any uploading, then you know it's because I'm busy doing a commission, and I kind of take top priority over that, you know. I know that sounds kind of mean to neglect YouTube, but I'm giving you a video right now. Because as I'm doing the commissions, I do the fucking speed drawings as well, so we get both. And if you're not really that interested in these videos, well, don't know what to say to you. Then just wait for another video. That's all I can say. But I don't know how many of these I'll be doing. I mean, I've already got another one to do already, like immediately after this. But this didn't really take me that long to do. I know if people may question my estimated times. Basically, the estimated time that I provide for how long it'll take to do the drawing comes down to how long it'll take me to finish the drawing, like from start to finish, and and that's basically that. And I like to have that extra time to kind of refine everything and make sure all the detail is there and everything is where it should be. And of course, I need the time to make this speed drawing video as well, because I like to be able to get the speed drawing video up before I get the artwork up, just to help generate the views on the video, of course. So I've thought about that. But I like to have that extra little bit of time just to be able to get everything right and to refine everything and so on and so forth. But I can see myself doing more of these in the future, and again, I'm open to any, like, you know, like I said, there's the FAQ that I've written if you're curious, which you can go and look at. But I'm practically open up. I'm open. I'm not opened up. No, I don't know why I said that. But I'm open to any sort of commission. Obviously within certain guidelines, of course. There are specific rules that I've laid down, that I've had to lay down, just to be 100% sure of everything, and just to make sure I don't get in trouble, basically. Because I know one thing I guess that people would ask me is, would I do NSFW artwork? Like, would I do stuff that's not suitable for work, you know, NSFW, like nudity and all that, and, you know, because a lot of people have kind of issues with nudity. Yes and no. I do. Yes and no. And again, you can call me a pervert as much as you want. It's all about fucking art. Like, there's nothing to a degree. Like, how can I explain it? It's like, if you're an artist and you like drawing nudity, it doesn't fucking make you perverted in the slightest, you know. As I said, the human body itself is art, so. But obviously, I have specific guidelines when it comes to NSFW, and that being, can't be too graphic, just simple nudity, simple as that. But clarify that, of course. And, of course, no character underage as well. I don't want to get in trouble for that, because I don't draw that shit. It makes me uncomfortable. But other than that, I'm kind of open up to doing practically any kind of artwork, you know. Again, you can go check out like everything I've written to give you a general idea of what I do. And you can basically pick whatever you want, you know. I give you options and shit, you know. I mean, for this, I think FunkyGamer requested hard shading full body, if I remember correctly. You requested hard shading full body, and that's exactly what I've done. The entire full body with hard edge. If you're not familiar with what hard edge is basically when the shading stands out. Like, there's no blending between the prime color and the actual shaded color. Apart from the eyes, as you see here. I always do soft shading on the eyes because it looks weird when you kind of make them stand out too much. Like, when you make the colors stand out too much in the eye. But everything else, like the skin and the clothes and the hair, that's all hard edge shading with no blending. There's no blending between the prime colors or anything like that. I did a bit of soft edge shading on the skin a little bit with the darker tone to kind of make it, again, kind of stand out a little bit more. And I did on the wings, just, again, to make them stand out a little bit more. Make them kind of, like, really get the main focus of your eye. But this is basically what hard edge shading is, if people are curious. It's where the shading stands out, you know, it doesn't blend with the prime color, so it obviously stands out, which you'll see in about, what, 10 seconds? Yeah, 10 seconds. And I think you can do that. You can either pick hard edge shading, a combination of soft and hard edge shading, which is a mixture of both. See, as you can see there, that's hard edge shading there. And I do soft shading on the darker shade here. Like I said, to make it stand out that little bit more. But you have the option between hard edge shading, soft edge shading, and high res. And high res is, like I said, the last speed drawing that I did. That's the high res version. The mixture of hard edge and soft edge, you could consider that to be the other speed drawing that I did, the first speed drawing that I did. That was kind of a mixture of both. So basically, you have options with me. Like you can have whatever you want. You know, customer satisfaction is a priority for me. So you can pick and choose whatever kind of art style you want. You know, and yeah, again, read the fucking form. It's there. But as you see, there's a reason why I kind of soft shaded the darker shade there, and it's because like the darker shade kind of makes it stand out way too much and just makes it look a little bit just not too right in my opinion. You know, if I ever do hard edge shading, it's always with two colors. It's never with more than two. There is an art style for that, but personally, I like to have two colors. And if I add a third, it's usually going to be just to kind of make it stand out that little bit more and add that small tone and definition to the overall picture, of course. But yeah, so that's what's been happening. I've been accepting commissions now. Fucking hard. A lot of work because I have to put almost not everything, but I have to put almost everything on hold to get these done. Just because it just takes the priority for me. It's hard to. It's gonna be difficult because I plan to do a speedrun video for every single one, and it's like, what the fuck am I gonna talk about? You know, it's because I'm already running out of ideas of stuff to talk about. You know, it's like, what else can I talk about? You know. But for this one in particular, I kind of want to discuss something else related to art, which is kind of a side thing. Something I kind of picked up on as I was drawing this, which was when it comes down to drawing a pose, there's a lot of things that can come into that. Because originally the design for this that I went with, like the pose that I went with for this was completely different. It had a similar look to it, but instead I wanted to have, like the original pose was where I was going to have like a frontal, like a full-on frontal pose for her where she's looking directly at you. And basically it's where the hands are, that's obviously where they were going to be. But then I thought to myself, like, that looks too boring, if you know what I mean. Like, another very key feature when it comes to drawing poses, it's not just a matter of like how the like where the body is positioned. You know, small subtle changes to like let's say you move the arms slightly and put the arms in a certain position or whatever, or if you have the legs slightly bent with them kind of spaced apart a little bit. You know, adding subtle little changes to the pose can actually make it stand out a little bit more and make it a lot less, you know, a lot less plain, if you know what I mean. You know, it can make it really stand out that much more, and that obviously was again partly the reason why I skipped the sketch, showing you the sketch, because I had to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between it, and it would have caused a lot of fucking issues, honestly. But I went with this pose because I thought it kind of, going off the characteristics that my commissioner provided, that she was shy and easily embarrassed, I kind of wanted a pose where it was like, you know, I'm guessing like the character, like this is pure speculation, this is pure assumption for me, is that I'm assuming that she's kind of based off of, like she is an original character and from FunkyGamer. And I'm guessing she's basically based off of, like, you know, from Hyperdimension Universe, because her character name is Red Heart, which we'll get onto later on, because I've got a fun little game I want to play later on when we get to that point. So I'm guessing she's, like, based off of that. So I was like, okay, so she's basically, assumptions again. So she's basically a CPU, allegedly. So I was like, well, and I took all of that into account. I was like, right, I want a pose that kind of shows off that she's shy, that she can be easily embarrassed, and show that kind of girly side of her, to which my commissioner said that was her characteristics and personality. So I kind of went with this pose, you know, kind of a feminine stance, with kind of her hand up to her face as a way of like, the reason why I went with that is because I wanted to kind of show off, like, you know, like I said, that shy and, you know, embarrassed personality characteristic to her, that she's shy and easily embarrassed. So I kind of put her hand over her face to kind of like to show that she's kind of covering her face a little bit, to show that she, she's a little bit shy and she's a little bit embarrassed to kind of, show off what she can do, and all that stuff. She's a little bit shy, a little bit embarrassed and all that, which you'll see later on. And that's kind of what I wanted to go with, and that's why I went with this pose, because it has that kind of feminine look to it, and as well it kind of shows off that she's shy and a little bit easily embarrassed, and the only hope is I hope that if you're watching FunkyGamer, I hope you do enjoy it, because it was kind of a challenge, this one was, but that's kind of the pose I wanted to go with, because it kind of, for me personally, that kind of fit, that kind of fit her characteristics and her personality. That's just personal, that's just me, that's what I felt like, would fit her. I may be wrong there, I may have, maybe, you might have had other ideas, but, that's just me personally, But like I said before, I really like this design, like a very simplistic design on her clothing, but, it looks cool, like it actually looks really cool. As you can see, doing a bit of soft shading on the wings there, because obviously that kind of works. I could have gone with a hard edge shading, but again, I wanted to use multiple colors for the wings, and I didn't want to have that hard edge shading because it would just look too blocky, if you know what I mean. And yeah, so that's why I went with that. And yeah, but like I said, I like her design, and if you probably, I don't know if you've caught onto this about me yet, but I really fucking adore long hair. Like I adore characters that have long hair, and I always love drawing fucking characters with long hair. It's always a hell of a lot of fun for me to do. But I really like the hair design. Credit where credit's due. I really love the hair design. It looks really good. I love the saturation of colors, like different shades of red and kind of like a creamish orange and stuff like that she went with. It really kind of made her hair stand out a lot, and I really like that. That was really good. But yeah. But again, going back to axe here, I'm hoping that the axe isn't too big. I honestly had no idea how big the axe was, going off the reference image. But again, based on what I assume that she's based off of, like the universe she's based off of, I'm guessing that the axe will be pretty huge, because every character in that has big fucking weapons. It's no fucking innuendo. Yeah, so I assume that it was like the axe was pretty big, so that's what I went with. At least I'm hoping that's right. So you can correct me if I'm wrong there. And I do add kind of a bit of a lighting effect to the axe, based on the reference image that was provided. I did kind of go off off the reference image that you provided of the axe. So kind of added this kind of lighting effect for the axe, particularly down the middle of it where that kind of like pale red is. I kind of added a kind of like reddish glow to it, because looking at the reference material, it looked like the center part of it was glowing. Again, I may be wrong about that again, I may have made a mistake on that part. But as I said, I go purely based off of the reference material. I go purely based off of the reference material that is provided, so that's why I tell people to provide clear reference material. And I must admit, thank you for providing such a clear reference image there, FunkyGamer. I really appreciate that. That was very helpful. But like I said, I hope I got this right, because I would hate to find out that I fucked that up. And I did add a bit of a curvage on the axe's bevel. I think it's the bevel. Am I thinking of the right thing here? Like the bevel, that's either the edge of the blade where it's sharpest, or the bevel is right. No, the bevel is right down the fucking middle, isn't it? It's that groove right down the middle of like swords. I think, I don't know, but I added that kind of curve to the close to the edge of the axe's blade to kind of give that kind of like it's a blade, like kind of that curvage into the sharp part of the blade and all that. I will say though, like moving on to the hair here, fucking hell did the hair take quite a long time for me to get right. I started doing the hair around about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I kind of stopped at like 3 o'clock after about an hour, and I just kind of sat there for like literally 2 hours trying to figure out how to do the hair. Like the hair was actually fairly complicated, believe it or not. It's mostly because, like I said, I was trying to go for that hard edge shading, and I was trying to what the fuck am I on about? I was trying to do the kind of art style that Compile Hearts does with its characters. I was trying to pull off that same kind of hairstyle like look with the shading. So I did actually like have to put this down for like 2 hours to kind of just sit down and just take it in and just be like, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this. And I had to sit there for like 2 hours trying to figure it out. It was a nightmare. But I think I got it right. I mean, obviously, when you see the hair in its entirety when it's finished, you'll see that it looks pretty good. And you may have noticed as well, I'm using the line work layer a lot more. That's because when I do the hard edge shading, I want the actual lines, like the actual outlines for the shade to obviously be bold and to stand out. If I do it freehand, there'll likely be a lot of like blurring and a lot of like unnecessary shading. So I tend to use the line work layer to kind of make the edges stand out that extra more. It kind of allows me to kind of bend the lines and get the lines as accurate. But this happens to me a lot, where I accidentally put the wrong color into the wrong fucking layer. It's like, if there's one thing that stresses me out about the fucking paint tool side is putting the wrong fucking thing in the wrong layer, because I'm very fucking anal about that. I mean, hell, if you look on the right side there, the folders for each category, those are not just randomly laid out. Like, those are actually laid out based on the foreground and the background of the image. So it's like the axe is at the very top of all the other folders because that's more in the foreground than the rest of it is. You know what I mean? So I'm very anal about that. You know, anal, because anal's anal. You know what I mean? But I get very anal with my artwork. You know, yeah, I just can't help it. You know, it all has to be exactly where it should be. You know, can't help that. That's just force of habit for me. But I mean, I like the way it turned out. Yep, it's very good. But what else can I talk about? I mean, we've got like fucking, how long do we have left? We've got like 6 minutes left. Fuck me. Um, yeah, I'll go back to YouTube a little bit here because I've been a bit quiet about it. In regards to YouTube, as of recently, like the slowdown in videos, there has been a reason for that. I haven't just randomly taken a hiatus. Um, last Tuesday, I did some footage for both Yandere Simulator and Enter the Gungeon. As I was doing Yandere Sim, that was fucking pissing me off so much. Of just like the builds are getting worse and worse, like stability wise. And I got so frustrated. Like that night was so awful for recording because it was boiling here as well. And I woke up Tuesday morning and just all this fucking stress of YouTube, because there is a lot of stress that comes to YouTube, believe it or not. I know many people talk about like, oh, there's no stress in YouTube. Yes, there is. Like, there's a lot of it, you know. I mean, I've been stressed out the past couple of days getting this done, you know. Stress comes with everything. And if you think sitting down and playing games is stress-free, no, it ain't, honestly. I mean, I know it sounds easy, and I know it sounds like I'm being a bit fucking pretentious there, and just being like, oh, like fucking everybody else is doing like 9 to 5 jobs. It's like, yeah, but there's a lot of shit that goes on in the background of these videos that you don't fucking see. You know, when the cameras are turned off, you know, when this camera is turned off, you know, you don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, you don't know what the hell I'm doing or what any other YouTuber's doing. So it's best not to judge regarding that. But woke up Tuesday morning and like I was like, God, my chest feels weird. Because yes, my if you remember late last year, I still had problems with my chest, you know, acting up and causing problems for me. That's still around. Like, that is still fucking there, and it won't go away. And it seems to be according to what people have said to me, like I've got it checked out and all that. And according to them, according to what people have said, you know, because like I said, I've had it checked out multiple times, and apparently it's caused by stress and anxiety, which is fucking great. You know, it's fucking great. What I do on YouTube causes stress and anxiety, so it's like fantastic, you know. So it's like, holy shit, because it's like, well, what can I do about that? It's like, what else can I do other than take a fucking hiatus, you know? that's all I can do regarding that is just take a fucking hiatus. Which is practically what I did. Yeah, I took a fucking hiatus last week for about a week because it was really acting up. And because of that, excuse me, sorry, my throat is fucking killing me. It's only been like 30 minutes for fuck's sake. But yeah, it was like, I took a hiatus for like a week to try and let my chest settle down, because that's kind of the problem I run into now, is YouTube causes so much stress and anxiety for me. It causes my chest to like actually it physically fucking hurts me. It physically fucking hurts me and causes my chest to start hurting. That's stress and anxiety for you, like, fuck me sideways. So every now and again I have to take a fairly long break from doing YouTube videos to kind of relax and settle that down. And I know many people could complain about that. It's like, oh, how can you get that? It's like, again, you don't know what goes on behind the video. Like, all you're seeing is the video, you're not seeing what's going on behind it. So, but yeah, so that's what's happening with the videos, and that's technically why I've been kind of slowing down with the videos like the past couple of months, because I've been trying to fix my schedule a little bit more of uploads and fixing my stress and anxiety. Is that a fucking plane? Don't know if you can hear that. There's a plane right outside my door. Fuck off, you bastard. Right in the middle of recording. But yeah, so that's what's happening with the videos as of lately, is just gotta learn how to deal with that, to be honest. I'm dealing with it gradually, and it's getting better slightly, you know, every day, but the schedule will resume, obviously. I just hope that all of you can understand that and, you know, bear with me, you know, because it's not an easy thing to deal with, waking up in the morning and having a fucking chest being sore as fuck and not knowing what the fuck is causing it, you know. Well, I do know it's stress and anxiety, but what can you do, you know? If I have anxiety, why am I doing YouTube videos? Well, believe it or not, YouTube does actually help at the same time. Like, it affects my anxiety, and it actually helps my fucking anxiety, you know. It's such a weird thing. Like, it's a double-edged sword, you know. It's a double-edged sword. It's helping, but it isn't at the same time. But that's what's been happening with the videos as of late, and I will be resuming that. Yeah. Anyway, this is the part I wanted to get to, because this is the most interesting part that I want to play a game right now for all of you. As you see in the background there, you're probably seeing what's with all the ones and zeros. What's with all that? Obviously, part of the request was she asked for a kind of matrix style, you know, numbers and shit. And I made it red, Commissioner, because I thought it kind of fitted with the character, since the character's called Redheart, and I thought, yeah, let's go for red. That would actually fit. You may think otherwise. I don't know. It's entirely down to you what you think. But there's a game I want to play with you right now. To all of you that can read binary, I challenge you to read what I have written there in binary, because I have actually written that in binary. I'm not going to tell you what it says. As you can see there, it's in binary. If you can tell what that says, what those numbers say, then congratulations to you. But I'm going to say this, I'm not going to tell anybody what that says. You'll have to figure it out for yourself. But those numbers actually do spell out a word. I will give you one hint. It spells out a 2-word sentence. I know, right? 9 columns of 8 fucking numbers spells out 2 words. Yeah, that's fucking binary for you. But if you can figure that out, well done to you and congratulations. But yeah, there you go. My very first commission, which is free of charge. My commissions are free of charge. But there you go. There's my very first commission for, what was the name? FunkyGamer on DeviantArt. Thank you very much for commissioning me, Funky. My fucking dyslexic, fuck's sake. Thank you very much, FunkyGamer, for commissioning me, for being the first person to commission me. I really appreciate it immensely. I really, really do. But there you go. So, and we're about at the end of the video now, so thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. And I've been whoever the fuck I've been. This has been kind of another speedrunning video, this time for a commission. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope you all, not just people on DeviantArt or anything like that, I hope you all consider commissioning me, because I'm open to anything. You know, the links are in the description to all the information that you need. Please go and give it a look if you're interested. And if you have any questions, by all means, ask away, of course. But I've been whoever the fuck I've been. This has been another commission speed drawing video. Thank you very much for watching, my friends, and ta-ra your faces. And remember, if you want a commission done, you know who to come to, because I am more than open to doing any form of commission, obviously within certain guidelines. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and ta-ra your faces, my friends, and I'll see you all next time in the next video.